it's very obvious that he was involved. He shows up immediately after she dies over there and then covers up the murder. No one, that is indisputable. So it's also known that she was going to fire him. She was just like,
wait,
I had
so
enough.
they're
Yeah.
throwing hands in court and he's still employed?
Yeah.
The hell is wrong with these people, man?
You know, obviously, if this was dragged through the public eye, this would have been terrible for the reputation of the school.
Right.
Yeah, Jordan just, he believed in racial hierarchy, as we spoke, or as I mentioned earlier, and he wrote his beliefs extensively. A lot of his lectures and works are on specifically breeding control and forced sterilization.
Oh, so eugenics.
All of this is based on class, race, and just people he didn't like.
Anybody that wasn't him.
Basically, yeah.
Got it.
And so he just simply believed that these groups of people shouldn't be reproducing. Like, that's his whole deal. That's how he made his academic career. And the Stanfords brought him in to run the school. They knew this. They knew all of these things.
I mean, at the time, that was pretty commonplace.
Ultimately, by 1920, all of this is forgotten. No one cares anymore, and the school is a huge success. And Jordan ruled as president until 1913, right? So up until 8 years after her death. And then by 1950, the institution was just pumping out Nobel Prize winners left and right, nonstop.
Right.
And one last piece before I wrap this up, because I'm kind of tired of talking about it, is that the school had a lot of empty fields around it.
Right.
In the 50s, the school leaders decided to do something a little bit different. And this is the origin of your family's connection to the school, is that these leaders, they decided to lease the land that they had stolen. Mm-hmm. Okay. To business owners to generate more wealth beyond what the students were paying, because at that time I think that there was some tuition by the 50s. I could be wrong about that, but nothing that was creating generational wealth, right?
Right.
Creating magnates. And so they decided, like, hey, if we lease the land to bigger companies around here right next to the school, they now have resources from these young, brilliant minds that are coming to the school. And now the school is tied to all of the whatever amazing progress that the human race is associated with, right?
Yeah.
And then these businesses have to pay us to have access to our students, to have access to the grounds, to be able to build and all the. So they did the McDonald's thing before McDonald's.
Right.
Okay. With the land around them. And so, of course, everybody wins, right? The businesses win because they have access to all these brilliant minds, all these new students, and they're right there. And then the school wins because everything that those businesses are doing is now credited to Stanford and all of its geniuses, right?
Right.
So it's really quite clever. So that's the beginning of Silicon Valley. And by the 60s, companies like HP and Lockheed had already had research facilities on the grounds and were already doing all kinds of crazy things that you and I will never, ever know about. And the stuff about Jane and Mr. Jordan was all but forgotten. And then in the early 2000s, reporters kind of dug up all this old dirt and brought it back to light into the public eye. And of course, the school denies all of it and cited Jordan's results of heart failure as ultimately what the school is saying is her cause of death, and they dismiss everything else. And so even though students that go to school there today do their protests and, are anti-Leland Stanford, his statues are up everywhere, and they pretty much worship him as a living god there. And by they, I don't know, maybe none of the students give a shit and don't even know who he is and don't even pay attention to the statues. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, and my ignorance begets me, because I had no idea about any of this. You were like, I'm going to do a story on Stanford, and I'm like, neat.
Yeah, boring.
You're like, no, dude, there is a whole ass rabbit hole. I'm like,
Yeah.
All right, I guess we'll hear about it.
Yeah. And I mean, this is just with a few hours of homework. This isn't like, I'm not an expert. There are, as we discovered, there's other rabbit holes to shoot off of this all over the place.
And so my family's connection to that was that my family owned a bunch of that land. And my grandpa ended up working with the Brooks brothers to create the infrastructure and doing all the buildings and everything like that before it was Silicon Valley. And here's the funny thing. So if anybody hears that, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, like Eddie has so much. Nope. I have nothing.
Got none of it.
Yeah. And there's a whole thing we could dive into that, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole alone on record. Like the Patterson Ranch is still there. My grandpa donated that to the state of California and a ton of land. But anyway, yeah. So my family was likely directly involved with that. And like I said, my grandpa was a Stanford grad as well. And really good dude.
Well, that's what I've got on Stanford.
Yeah.
I heard a little bit about it and came across something. I thought, well, that seems awful. I didn't realize what a creep Leland is. Oh, wow. That's a whole rabbit hole of grossness. So again, none of this is new. I didn't know, so I wanted to talk about it.
Yeah. This is all alleged as well, by the way. And if Stanford wants to give us honorary doctorates, reach out. You can find our email. This episode may not make it on. It's making it on.
Could we get one of those Joe Biden honorary doctorates?
Yeah. Bill Cosby honorary doctorate.
Yeah. Like, you get a PhD just because, which if I had a real PhD and I found out Bill Cosby got a doctorate.
Oh, I'd be furious.
Like, thanks. Now this means nothing.
Right. Next week, tune in Monday. We're going to be talking about John McAfee or having an interview. I don't know. Also, make sure to make it to the Saturday at noon YouTube exclusive live stream where we may or may not, probably are, doing a giveaway. Branden, you got anything?
I haven't got anything else for the kids at home.
Outstanding. Good job, man.
Like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment.
Share, save.
Comment.
Tell everybody how great we are.
Yeah.
Tell us to gag on eggplants.
You know what? The 57th person in the comment that tells us to gag on an eggplant gets a